everybody. Bobby D here, and I got my co-auctioneer,
Dusty Klink.
Thank you so much for coming out and being a part of this webinar today. This is number one of
Many.
That's right. We're going to be doing so many. And we want to do this a little bit differently than all the other boring webinars that are out there. Hence, we've kind of got our own little stage here. And since it is a gold medal gala webinar, we figured we probably better dress up and
yeah, you know, I mean, kind of some, you know, I mean, the Olympics were just, you know, I mean, you know, I'm ready to go.
All right, we got to warm up and we got to kind of look at this because yes, the only way you can be a champion is you got to plan to succeed, right?
Indeed.
Because if you don't plan to succeed, you plan to fail, and we don't want anybody to fail within their fundraising gala. So yeah, so here we are. We're going to help you win the gold, and we're going to help you capture that gold and help you raise a lot of gold. That's what it's all about. All right, let's get going.
Let's get going with this.
Yeah. So, Dusty, we've got a full day ahead of us.
Yeah, we do.
Or an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
and it's all about winning, right?
Yes.
It's all about winning. So
put it up there.
So what do we got coming up on the agenda today?
Yeah. So we'll do a brief introduction, and then it smells like school spirit.
Woo!
What?
Yes.
And then find the gold. That's you know, obviously what we're going to do.
Someplace.
And paddles for projects.
Right.
Yeah. Raise those paddles up. And ARGs equal money.
Ooh, ARG. We're going to tell you what that is in a second.
Resources and some questions, and then we'll wrap it up.
That's right. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We've got a lot of people with us from across the nation. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. We also have a couple of our current clients that are joining with us. Tony from Seton Catholic, good to see you. Rhonda from Scottsdale Christian, good to see you. Love working with you as well, too. And these are just two individuals that we've been able to work with over the years to really showcase examples of how you can bring that school spirit in. But I guarantee that they've got some good things that they're going to learn from this as well, too. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Bobby D. I am a fundraising auctioneer. I am the founder, CEO, head auctioneer, and consultant for Call to Auction because auction is action with you in it. And founded Call to Auction in 2007, has grown it into now a big fundraising firm. We're raising about $100 million a year, working with nonprofits across the nation. Founded right here in Phoenix, Arizona. We're here in Scottsdale, and the only way that we're able to build capacity to be able to go out and serve more individuals and nonprofits and schools like you is I need to find a bigger team, and that's what Dusty is here to do. So, Dusty, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Dusty Klink. I am a benefit auctioneer specialist, and I do fundraising auctioneers with Bobby. And then we also MC work, you know, that kind of stuff as well. Yeah. But also, I came from more of a singing music background, so that's kind of my history with all of this. And I really wanted to find something that on stage I could help organizations and schools with, really. So
that's what we're doing.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. And so, Dusty, real quick, everyone says, okay, you're auctioneers, and you talk really fast, and you do all the things and whatnot. But that's only about 2% of the time that we spend with our clients and with their audience. The other 98% of the time is in preparation, is in consultation, providing tips, tricks, tactics so that you can raise more money, raise more gold, and win the gold at your event. And that's what we're all about. We want to share education. We want to share ideas. We want to share experiences that we've had. I've been in this, I can't believe it, 20 years now. And there's been a lot that's changing. And that's what's great about us working across the nation is able to see so many different events that are out there and then be able to take all this information and bring it to you. All right, Dusty, we got to find the gold. How do we find the gold?
We do. You know, I mean, really, it's about maximizing your fundraising outcomes, right? I mean, that's what we're all about. Putting in the school pride, having that community engagement, and that all comes back to that giving opportunity. So, you know, Bobby, you've done a lot of this kind of school function, kind of infusion. So let's talk more about that.
All right. So the infusion of the energy and the experience really ties in with your brand, whether you are a school or a nonprofit. It's that experience that you create because people are going to forget what you say. They're going to forget what you did. They're going to forget the numbers, but they're never going to forget how you made them feel. And when you create a shared experience with a community of guests and donors coming together, really to celebrate, you know, one cause or to really be there to work towards a common goal, that's where that school spirit gets really, you know, infused within that. And there's so many goals and there's so many results that you can create from a fundraiser. Now, we always say, what's the biggest goal of a fundraiser? Is to raise money. I know. We hate that the world runs around on it, but no money, no mission. So we have to do that. But there's so many different results that can come out of this as well, too. There's donor identification. Many times there's first-time donors that are at the event, and how do we get them into your donor system? There's opportunities for cultivation of current donors and stewardship and helping them to bring them to next levels. But then there's also a lot of marketing and business opportunities as well there, too. Because who runs businesses?
Pretty much everybody.
People.
I mean, in a sense. I mean, you know, I mean, and that's really what it is. You know, being in, you know, coming from kind of more of a business background and then coming into this, you know, it's so fun to see that these schools and organizations really embrace this and take this event to their next level.
Yep.
And that's what we're here about.
Yeah, that's what it is. Raise more money in less time, have some fun. Okay, Dusty, here we are, school spirit.
Yes.
We are going to find that school spirit. We're going to make your event just drip, literally, with school spirit. So what are some ways that we can do that? How can we make something special?
Well, you know, I mean, it's all about bringing in that theme, right? You know, and bring it into the event. You can have, you know, any number of themes in an event, but really bringing that to the people that are there and that school spirit, having that go out, and it really makes the donors feel connected to your cause, connected to your school. And, you know, Bobby, we've done a lot of schools here, and, you know, I think one of the fun things is you can bring elements from the school that happen on a daily basis, like, or at games or anything like cheerleaders, right? Coming out and cheering on, you know, the winners of a live auction.
We want your gala to feel like a pep rally.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, we all remember the pep rallies from back in the day where, you know, you had the cheerleaders, you had the band, you had everybody, you know, you had the basketball team or the football team on the basketball court. Everybody's cheering and hooting and hollering because what happens? You want to win the game. You want to beat your rival across town. And you really want to celebrate within that, but you can't create that energy and that school spirit without getting everybody together and celebrating, you know, this great community, this great organization that you have. And that's what it is. That's what the pep rally is. It's to build that energy. It's to build that school spirit. So some other ways that we can include, you know, within this. Let's what's our next slide?
Yeah, let's see here.
Here it is. Creating the one team. Now, Dusty, you talked about incorporating that school spirit with using cheerleaders.
Right.
And we've been using this at a couple of our events, and we've been seeing great success with that within what we call they're the thank you squad or the gratitude team, or they're there when someone does win the auction item. They're hooting and hollering and cheering. Some other ways that you can incorporate that school spirit within your event is, I love a drum line, bringing in the guests from the cocktail hour, like they're
so fun.
You know, and that's building that energy. One way that you can look at your event and kind of this pep rally that you're creating is look at the donor journey as your donors are entering the space, whether it's your gym or it's a ballroom or it's a town, whatever that is. Like, what does that look like? You could have the cheerleaders, you could have the football team, you could have the kids there really rooting and cheering on those donors as they're coming in, because your donors are the heroes. They're the ones that are going to make this night a success or not. So you really want to start to build that spirit as they're walking in. And then look at that journey. Look at the registration. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is your cocktail? I'm taking the word cocktail out, by the way. This is a connection hour.
Absolutely.
Yes, sometimes there's events that have cocktails, but there's some events that we work that are dry events that are absolutely amazing. And it's not so much cocktails, it's connection is what we're really trying to create, connecting the guests to the mission, connecting them to the cause, which is why we're there. Now, Dusty, I got to talk. We got to talk about the elephant or the cocktails in the room. Now, so many groups out there think that they got to get their donors sloshed. That's true, right?
No. I mean, so you know, there is the bell curve, you know, effect on alcohol, right? You know, and so if you end up, let's try.
You keep talking.
Okay.
I'll start drawing.
So there's the point where you enter the room and you know you might be feeling a little don't really want to talk to people, right? Okay, that's about there, right? And then you go to the bar. You get yourself
a martini.
A martini. That's beautiful.
That's one drink.
That's the only one, though. Yeah, only one. And then it kind of starts going up from here.
Yeah.
And then we get up to about here, and maybe that's cocktail number 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But then
we get to here.
we get to there.
We get the hard stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the brown liquor, yes.
And then that's where we kind of start to see this fall off, right?
It changes it degrades from the good things that alcohol can provide. It does, it loosens us up. It creates
fun
some love and all of that.
Exactly.
But once you hit here, it's backwards. And then when your guests are sloshed and they're drunk,
no money.
They're focused on themselves.
Yeah.
They're focused on the party. They're not focused on the fundraising. So again, we want to keep them there. Studies have been shown it's about 2 drinks is kind of where we want them at. And what's really, really interesting about this bell curve is this is the same bell curve that we use when we are talking about a fundraising event. So here's the entry point. This is your registration. This is your connection hour. We're building that inspiration as we're going up in here. Now your guests are going to enter the ballroom. They're going to enter the main event space. And then right here, this is what I like to call the golden goosebump moment. This is where, right here, in this spot, this is where everyone is understanding why we're there. Now, that golden goosebump moment can come in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
We can share videos talking about, the projects and the different things that we need. But what are some other things that we also can talk about?
Oh, I mean, a wonderful story, a presenter that is going to get up there and, share something very heartfelt and really pull at people's heartstrings in order to get them to say, oh, man, I need to be connected with this organization. I need to donate to this school. And that's the moment right there.
The golden goosebump moment. And once we get your donors into that space, we get them into that head space, we get them into that heart space, we get them to feel like they are a part of this team. Right here, you can't have your team with everybody has to have a number on the jersey, right? So everybody has to have a paddle. Everybody has to be a part of that. Once we get to that golden goosebump moment and everybody's feeling it and they want to raise their paddles, they want to be a part of this game, they want to be a part of the championship team, then we got to ask them. Then that's where your live auction can happen. That's where your paddle raise can happen. This is fundraising right here. And then what happens after that is, yes, we're going to go down the bell curve, but then this is just party time. This is, we're having a good time, and we're celebrating the fundraising that has just happened, celebrating all of the wonderful, great things that have been happening from the live auction, from the paddle raise, and from that golden goosebump moment. And what happens when we win the game?
Oh, man.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
We go. Okay. So big question that I get across the nation all the time from nonprofits is, Bobby, how do we find live auction items?
That is a really hard question, though, too. I mean, because there's so many. You can fill your auction with a lot of great items that just need to connect with the people, though. And to have an item that is specific to the group, maybe something that creates a one-of-a-kind experience that no one can purchase. And I think that that's the biggest thing, right? You want to create something that is not available for purchase.
Right.
And it's going to get the crowd really excited, especially if there's something that connects with the audience to that live auction item.
Yes, connecting mission to the auction item, finding something that's very specific, again, that you can't find anywhere else, and it has to be one of a kind. Now, I'm going to pick on Tony, who's with us, and we just had their gala a couple weeks ago. It was a record breaker. It was absolutely amazing. And one of their live auction items that I absolutely love the best was homecoming.
Oh, that was so
That's
cool.
right. They did a VIP homecoming tickets. They get VIP spot on the field. There's a photographer. There's a limo. There's all these great things that are included within that. And it's very mission-based. And it continues to help grow that school spirit. So these different things lend to that. But there's other things, these other one-of-a-kind opportunities that you can create. Again, Dusty, I always say this. It's not what you know. It's
who you know.
That's right. It's who you know. And when you have the who you know, you can create some amazing things. Maybe there's flying in a jet plane. Maybe there is a private dinner with a chef, which is the #1 item that we are seeing across the nation in regards of live auction items that's bringing in the most money is dinner 8, 10, 12 with a chef, whether it's in your home, whether it's at their restaurant, but even better yet, What if you did this? What if you did a private chef-curated meal that was in the middle of the football field, that was in the middle of the basketball court?
Cool. So cool.
How cool. You could even, and you know, you're not a school, at your organization, within your space, to again, bring your donors in to this wonderful energy that you have that is your organization's space. But then also this is another opportunity for cultivation and stewardship to literally get them to be a part of the team on the floor where the magic happens. So finding these different items, getting creative, working with your board, working with your committee, finding out places that you know you maybe have never been, and then asking like, okay, does anybody you know maybe know anywhere that has a beach destination? And here in Phoenix, it's 115 degrees today.
Yeah.
And where does everybody go during this time of year?
A lot of sand, no beach. Right?
I mean, that's right. A lot of sand.
So we got to get out of the heat, right?
Yeah.
People want to get out, and they want to go coastal. They want to go somewhere with water and fun. And I mean, let's say, Mexico's close, right? Going to Mexico is great. San Diego's fantastic.
That's right.
But yeah, absolutely. Having somewhere where people can go when it's 1:15.
And sometimes we start to get creative with these ideas as well. Find the beach, find the chef, find the jet plane, you know, find those mission-based items. But there's also some very simple things that you can fundraise with that doesn't take a lot of energy. Now, I'm going to give them a tip right here. This, if you're a private school, if you're a public school, even an organization that's here, and you've got a board, you've got a committee, and they want a way to help, well, guess what? Everybody bring a bottle of your favorite beverage, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, bring it together, get a local business to be able to sponsor one of those fancy coolers that are out there, and then fill this cooler with all of those beverages that your board and committee handpicked to bring in there, and use it as one of your auction items.
Oh, and it goes big.
Oh,
I mean, who doesn't want to fill their bar?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's just, it's awesome.
It's an easy way. And now whether you're going to use this as an additional revenue generator, as a warm up to your auction item, or maybe even just an auction item to get the crowd going, super easy. Go ahead and do that. And you're going to raise a lot of money. And then you're going to think back to Dusty and Bobby, be like, oh my God, those guys were absolutely right. That item made thousands of dollars. All right. So moving on here. I know auction items, we can talk about this all day.
Oh my gosh,
I think we need to do a whole webinar just on getting auction items.
Oh, absolutely. And consignment and, you know, all the stuff and the benefits. And I mean, there's so many different, so many different things.
So many. So Dusty, why do auctions work?
Oh boy. You know, friendly competition is still a thing, right? I mean, it's still, and you know, it is just this exciting thing when you see somebody raise their paddle and then another person raises their paddle. And then, you know, but why the paddle still, Bobby? I mean, what is that? Yeah, I kind of want to, you know.
There is a psychochemical reaction that happens. So let's pretend we're in South Africa. And you've got a group of kids that are playing football, also known as soccer, and they're kicking around the ratty ball or the sheep's stomach or whatever they are. But somebody scores a goal. What happens when somebody scores a goal? Right. Yeah. And no matter where you are in the world, when you get happy, what happens?
Oh, man.
We raise our hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a celebration. And by doing that, everybody at home, in your office right now, please put your hands above your head. Yeah, like you just won. And when you win, that feels good, right?
Absolutely.
That feels good. And that's why the paddle still works. When people bid at an auction, and by raising that paddle, again, it's releasing endorphins, it's releasing serotonin, it's getting all those good juices inside of them going to be like, I'm a part of this, I am winning. Now, winning, whether being an auction winner, an auction bidder, they're still part of that, but they're also a part of the winning team.
That's right.
That competition is a way to really then make that connection to the cause, connection to the community again. Yes. So create that competition, have someone that's there to help coach, help to encourage, help to create that competition. And that's what we do as auctioneers, as fundraisers. We're able to help it kind of instill that competitive spirit, but then also to instill that mission-based spirit, to create that inspiration that tugs at the heartstrings, that really gives everyone that opportunity to be a part of the winning team. That's what we're looking for. So we have to create some competition, create that connection, and yes, you're going to have people bidding back and forth, and you're only going to have one winner. But at the end of the day, and this can really come across in your messaging, that we're all winners when we work together.
Gosh, yes, absolutely.
Yep. Teamwork 100%. Makes the dream work. That's right. All right, what's next? Oh, my favorite. This is my favorite part of our presentation here is the paddle raise, also known as the
Fund a need.
also known as the cash call.
Well, cash call. Yeah,
Fund a
sure.
kid,
Yeah.
Fund a
kid.
school,
Yeah,
fund
absolutely.
a playground, fund a whatever.
Oh yeah.
But
Build
this
a
is
building.
a chance. I mean, because like some of the schools that we've been able to work with have had many big projects that they've been trying to fund. There was a school actually not too far from here that when I went to talk with them in the consultation, I'm like, well, let's talk about your paddle raise. They're like, what? What is a paddle raise? I'm like, oh, this is opportunity for the organization, for your donors to come together, raise their paddles, give it that level that's inspirational for them, and to help fund this need that you have. So what do you need? You know what they said? A lunchroom. They needed a lunchroom for the kids because in Scottsdale, in like September right now, the kids had to eat lunch outside. They're like, we need to build. So guess what we did? We fundraised and we built a lunchroom for them.
Absolutely.
But there's so many other things that they can fundraise for.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, everything from computer and tech to teacher development can be a great one. A new building, right? Or building renovation.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, or parking lot renovation.
Oh my
right?
gosh,
I mean, that could
easy.
be a big thing.
Yeah.
Facility improvements of any kind. Or just new program development, and I think the biggest one, general funding.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes with your paddle raise, you can fund for a specific thing.
Yeah.
We need more Chromebooks. We need more iPads. We need to fix the bathroom is always a big thing. And when you're fundraising for that specific thing, you're marketing it like, okay, here, we're raising money for this project. And at the end of the night, we are going to say, we did this, we funded this project. However, what is the hardest thing that you are all trying to fundraise for? General operating funds, because they're not sexy. I'm sorry. Yes, they are not sexy. But again, it's the fuel that goes into the tank of your mission engine, your mission rocket engine to keep, really blast that off. You got to have that funding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
oh wait.
Before we move on.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about like proper placement.
Ooh, proper placement of the fundraising
of the paddle raise.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
So there's the question again that I get this all the time is when do you put the paddle raise? When do you put the fund a need? Where do you put the fundraising within your fundraising event?
Yeah. Before, after, wherever. Right.
So it is a art and a science of identifying the best place. Remember the golden goosebump bell curve that we have? We have to identify in the program. Working with your fundraising event consultant, an auctioneer can help you to identify where that is. But it's where your guests are most energetic, they're not drunk, they're most inspired, and they're most attentive. And again, when you match the bell curve with the beverage bell curve, but then match that over the top of your golden goosebump moment bell curve, you're going to see that spot where those are all going to come in. I like to say fundraise first, dance and awards later. As soon as your guests are in the ballroom, you now are building this sphere of inspiration, this sphere of influence. And that's, you're really trying to showcase, like, look, we're here for the mission, and you all being a part of this mission is how we're going to affect and create a bigger impact, create that ripple effect that's going to go out in the world. So as you're building it right from the beginning of the program, right from the welcome, how do you create a opening number that people are going to focus and be like, oh, okay, this is exciting. And then all of your speakers leading up to that golden goosebump moment, whether it's a video or speakers, no BS. No boring speeches. No boring speeches. If you got a speaker and they're planning on giving a boring speech, they can go after the fundraising. Be like, oh, we love, after the fundraising.
What about like a 10, 15-minute speech beforehand? I mean, is that longer better?
Oh my, no. Shorter is sweeter, like 100, 120, 200 seconds of comments about the mission, their connection to the cause, their connection to you, what is their why, and then that invitation to give. It's so simple, and so many people miss this. Like, we got to do this. No, fundraise first. Okay, so back to the original question. When do we put the fund in need?
Yes.
Before the auction or after the auction?
Right.
You know what the answer is?
Depends.
It depends. That's right. It depends. Sometimes you do need that live auction to really, jazz up the room, get everybody excited, get everybody into that giving spirit. And the auction can really help with that. It helps break the ice, helps, again, builds that energy, helps an opportunity for the auctioneer to build some rapport with the audience and gets people to give. And then you show the video, you tell the story, and then you can do your paddle raise, which is a great space. After the paddle raise, then you can bring up the awardees, you can bring up the honorees, you can dance, band, whatever. It doesn't matter. You got the money. But now there's some specific kind of opportunities and unique opportunities where you want to do the paddle raise first. And the way that I ask organizations is like, where are you going to put your paddle raise is, do you have guests that are leaving early? Sometimes there's certain demographics that have an 8:30 bedtime. If that's the case, do that paddle raise early. Sometimes there's other things that are going to be happening in the night that will distract people. Sometimes you don't even need to have a live auction.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
Auctioneers telling people to not have auctions? Oh my gosh. You know what? But there's a trend that's happening here across the country is where there are paddle raise only, fund a need only events that are happening.
You do a lot of those.
We do a lot of those. And there's a chance. Tell the story, tug at the heartstrings, make the call to action. People raise the paddles, you fundraise, and that's kind of the night.
Yeah.
So lots of opportunities to be able to do. So again, it really depends on your audience. It depends on the audience's energy, depends on the culture that you've had within your events from in the past. All of those things. Again, it depends. But if you were just out there thinking, hey, what are we going to do? Do your live auction. Then you have to have your transitional story, testimonial, whatever it is, how the dollars are affecting that individual. And then after that, then that's where you make the ask. That's where the fund and need comes in. That's where the group, everybody gives. So let's give an example of this.
Okay.
So we're talking about teamwork. And again, teamwork makes the dream work. But why does the paddle raise work so well?
I think it's community involvement.
It is.
It's that contagious giving. Right?
It is.
And people see it.
Yes. And they feel it.
They feel it.
There's something about that energy that gets created when you have a group of people that are raising their paddles. And again, remember we were talking about that psychochemicals that are being released by raising your hands. That energy is then contagious, and people want to be a part of that. They see the joy and the gratification that it takes or that giving gives to that individual. And when that paddle goes up, they're like, oh, it feels so good. I like to call this radical generosity, where you're giving to not only this amazing cause, but you're also giving, and you know that you are going to receive from that, receive the good feeling, receive the good juju, receive the good karma, and all of those things. But when people see that and they feel that, they want to be a part of that. They want to join that. Yeah. This is really the only opportunity of the entire event that everyone can be a part of it.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, because live auction items, they don't, maybe appeal to everyone in the room.
And auctions are exclusive. You're going to have one, maybe two, maybe 5 winners.
Right. But I mean, this is that opportunity in the night where everybody can feel involved and get involved.
Absolutely.
On this, though, when you do a paddle raise only event, so why, I guess, do you need more paddles? I mean, does everybody need a paddle?
Yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
So why?
The reason everybody needs a paddle is sometimes you'll have couples that'll come together and one of them might be in the restroom and they might have taken the paddle with them. But also, I've got a philosophy that more paddles in the air equals more paddles in the air, that we want everybody to be able to give. We want everybody to feel important. We don't want to segregate into just couples that are there, because sometimes there's individuals that show up. So we want to make sure there's a paddle in everybody's hand, and it's the power behind that paddle that is the biggest thing, that people feel that they have that opportunity to make a difference, and all they need to do is raise the paddle. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So yeah, what do we got next? Here we are. We're doing good.
We got about
right along. Yeah, we got about 26 minutes.
Okay, another one of my favorite items, though.
Yes.
Revenue generators.
Yes. Well, okay, what's a revenue generator?
Okay, a revenue generator is, now your audience is already there. You have your live auction. You have your fund a need. And then what else do you do? Right? What else do you do? Well, so we can think like games, raffles, incentives, and there's, gosh, I don't know, probably hundreds to talk about in that area. But I think also then you have to choose, right?
Yes.
Don't try all of them.
Right. So again, the silent auction is the thing that everybody thinks of when they think of auctions. It's like, yes, the silent auction. That can be, when used strategically, that can be a great revenue generator. But I'm going to warn you, it has to be used strategically, and don't just fill up your connection hour with all of these items and make it look like a yard sale. Don't do that, because now what you're doing is you are instilling the culture of giving as transactional, that you have to give or in order for you to give, you have to get something, or you're going to get something if you give. And when you do that, you're putting the wrong, feeling in the room. It's a very transactional feeling.
Yeah.
We're trying to create a feeling of transformation. And when you have all of those things, then again, people are focused on the things. They're not focused on the mission and on the impact that they're having. But that's where additional revenue generators are able to come in and help to add that energy and help to build that school spirit that's within that, and also to be able to raise money beyond the silent auction. Yeah. So some of these things, like everybody knows about the raffle, right?
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yes,
right?
the raffle.
Yeah.
Okay. So different types of raffles. Let's rapid fire those real quick. We have
gosh.
what do we have in regards to raffles? We have the 50-50 raffle.
Yeah, 50-50.
50-50.
Yep.
Stop doing 50-50s. You're giving away half of your money. You don't need to do it. Even if you gave $500 away, people are going to be excited that they win. Stop 50-50s. Okay, that's one.
Well, I mean, you could do like golden ticket.
The
right?
golden ticket,
Right,
yep.
right? That's
There's
kind of one.
Yep, there's the fishbowl raffle
fishbowl,
where you have
yep.
all the items and you put the different tickets and all the things. There's that one.
Wine pools, I mean, they're more gameish.
It's
I
kind of
guess,
like a raffle, but
yeah, but I mean,
But there's an evolution that's happening now with wine pulls. Now we're calling it a spirit pull, where
way better.
yeah. So remember earlier we were talking about everybody the board committee bringing in that bottle. Then this is a way that you could utilize that. So not only wine, not only spirits, but also there's a lot of non-alcoholic beverages that are out there too. People bring in their favorite sparkling soda or maybe their favorite root beer. I mean, there's so many different things that are in there. But that wine pool is definitely like a raffle.
Kind of.
It's kind of. Yeah.
And gosh, what else? What other raffles are really great? Like, what are the ones that you think that is like, oh man, if I were to hold an event tomorrow?
Well, I mean, yes, the golden ticket. The golden ticket, let me explain it for those of you that aren't using this or don't even know what this is. We're actually going to send you a resource on how to do this. We're going to send you the recipe for the golden ticket. But essentially what it is it's a limited number of raffle tickets, 100 raffle tickets. And someone is going to win something really awesome. Now, it could be a trip.
Okay.
They could steal one of the live auction items. It could be a cash prize. It could be a fantastic bottle of bourbon that's very expensive. But having this like grand prize, and you have a limited number of tickets. Sell the tickets for $100 a piece. Do the math for me. 100 times 100 is
10,000.
10,000. But what if you did 100 tickets times 250?
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to go. No more fingers and toes. I mean,
How many is
it's
that?
like 25,000.
25,000. Who could use $25,000 extra at your event? Show of hands. Okay, yes. There's a great way that you can do it. But you do need, again, have that item that has lots of appeal, that people are really excited about, and they want to win. But here's what's really great about the golden ticket as well, is that there are different levels of demographics that attend your event. You're going to have those that are quite well off or very, very generous, are going to be making major gifts, 5, sometimes 6-figure gifts.
Yeah.
You're going to have middle-level donors that are able to give, maybe between 1,000 and 10,000. But then you're going to have donors that maybe are entry-level donors, and they want an easy way to be able to get in. They want to give a little, and this is a chance for them to give a little as well. $100, $250, $500 is an easy entry point for them to be able to come in. And there's a trend that we've noticed is something called test money. So people are going to come into the event and they're going to give just a little bit, and they're going to see how you treat them after they've made the donation. They want to see what their impact is. They want to see how you're using the money. And the more they fall in love with you, the more that they trust you, the bigger the wins are going to be. So this becomes an easy entry point as well, too. But there's some other revenue generators, too.
Yeah. Well, and I also think that it kind of helps those people that maybe they were given the ticket to come that night, right? And it makes them, it makes them feel involved in the process, and maybe that is their opportunity to really feel like they're connected to the cause. Where maybe they might not raise their paddle, or they might, maybe not.
Maybe they're more of a transactional giver. And this is an easy way to do it.
So I think one thing that's really fun is a game. Yeah, heads and tails. It's fun.
Yes,
it's fun.
You can raise money by you playing the game heads or tails. Let me explain it real quick. So you have a coin. Your auctioneer, your host on stage, flips the coin, and then they say on the count of 3, everybody, if you think it's heads, put your hand on your head. If you think it's tails, put your hand on your yes. So easy game. Right. Now you could sell beaded necklaces, $25, $50, $100, and then they're going to win a prize. I love to do the heads and tails game for free. Free? Why would you do something for free? I love to do this for free because in the event, if you can give something early on in the event, it's going to make the room feel really, really good. And they're going to be more inclined to give to you because you gave something out. They're like, oh, we got to play for free. This is a good energy builder. It gets people out of their seats. You know, all of that. But there's some other games that are out there you can utilize in the Connection Hour. I like the Mystery Box is a fun game. So it's kind of like a raffle. It's kind of like a wine pull. But let's say you took your entire silent auction that's out there and you put each item into a different box. Okay, so now let's do the math. Let's say you have $20,000 worth of silent auction items. Now, in a silent auction, you're going to see about 65, 75% return, which is about $15,000. So now, let's say you had 50 items. Now, 50 items. To make that $50,000 back, or that $15,000 back, is each item would have to be a $300 average. So now what you can do is take your 30 items, wrap them in boxes, make them in a nice, beautiful display, and then sell each one for $300. And someone's going to get at least $300 of value in something in one of those boxes. And sometimes they'll win more, sometimes they'll win less. But at least you have eliminated your silent auction. And now it's more of a game. It's interactive. And people love opening presents, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, yes. So there, again, lots of games, lots of raffles, lots of different things. Let's talk.
Could we send them maybe something, you know, a little, you know, after the webinar kind of a thing, you know, some additional things that would help them out?
That's a great idea. We do have a resource that I'm going to send out. It's all about additional revenue generators. I think there's about 20 or 30 that are in there that you can use. Now, I do want to warn you, just because you get the recipe book or the playbook with 20 or 30 revenue generators, you can't use them all at your event. Why can't you use them all at your event?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, if you're just getting hit up all the time, you know, 20 here or 100 here or 150 here or whatever, you know, it's just all of this. It's just too much.
Yes.
Right? And you just got to keep it simple, pick a few good items, keep the games fun and not overwhelming.
Again, you don't want to be nickel and diming your guests that are there. And your guests, you want to create an enhanced experience. And if your guests are coming to the event and all of a sudden now they're getting hit up again all over the place, they're going to feel nickel and dimed. And then they're going to get into the auction. And they're like, and they're like, oh, paddle race. We want them to be focused on the high impact opportunities, which again, paddle race, live auction, maybe some of the higher giving golden tickets, different things like that. Keeping it simple, kiss it, keep it stupid simple. But incentivizing that giving. This is a new thing that we're incorporating within a lot of our paddle raises and fund needs. Because again, you're going to have people that are a bit of a give to get type of kind of that's the raffles. They're transactional, but we were trying to transform them into more of a transformational giver. And we've been doing a lot of incentivized giving at some of the levels of the auctions. So here's a perfect example. There's an organization we're going to be working with here in a few weeks. And at the $1,000 level, everybody that gives at the $1,000 level is going to have an opportunity to win date night for a year.
Incredible.
Yeah, date night for a year. They have a local sponsor that's sponsoring that. Some people are going to come out. They're going to win one date night every month for an entire year. And as a spouse, of course I'm going to give to that because, you know, I want my partner to see that I'm giving and I want to take, you know, my partner on dates. But then it's also that chance to be able to give to the cause. And then, you know, all of those $1,000 donors, somebody's going to pull out. We're going to be a winner. Thank you so much for giving. Thank you to everybody else so much for giving. Thank you for being a part of that. So the incentivized giving at one level is a great way to do it. The last level, like the paddle drop is a great way to give. Last hero standing is another great way for people to give. And again, that's where that test money can come in. That's where the entry level donors can come in, are at these lower giving levels is a great way to do it. And again, by incentivizing, we're helping those transactional givers to now again be transformational givers. So let's increase that excitement. Let's increase that engagement. Let's get people in on this. So let's keep talking about revenue generators a little bit more.
Yes.
So it's all about gathering the money. We've got to create that energy that's within that. And you can use these revenue generators in the live component of the fundraising as well. So we already talked about heads or tails.
Yes.
We've already talked about incentivized giving. But there's a few other ways that we can incorporate these games or multi-sale opportunities in the live auction. So we are now being inclusive of all of the donors that are there. There's what I call a stand-up party or a buy-in party. Now, this is a great idea. There's been some schools that will create a, okay, here it is, the Margarita Mamas party. Okay, the Margarita Mommy's party. So this is where all the moms are going to get together at a location, someone's house or whatnot, and they're going to have the margarita machine, and they're going to have the tequila tasting, and they're going to have the taco truck, and they're going to have all of that stuff, coming together. And it's going to be on one night. So let's say your event is here coming up on the 1st of October. Then let's say it's November. Let's say it's December. Maybe it's January. Whenever it is, they're going to have a specific date that they are going to be hosting this party. So who wants to go to the Margarita Mama party? I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so raise your paddle at $500. We're going to see how many people we can get to go to the Margarita Mama party for $500. And what's going to happen is you're going to have 10, 20, 30, 50 hands that are going to be going in the air that want to go to this party. So do the math for me. 10 people at 500 is?
Jeez.
5,000.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
that's going to pay for the party, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's more than enough.
Oh my gosh, so much more. And then again, that sign-up party, that paddle up party is going to also create that cultivation and stewardship opportunity. Have you use development people get into that party. You're there, you're mixing, you're mingling, you're doing all of those different types of things. So that's one way. And then Dusty, I want to give give away the secret. I can't believe
secret sauce
that people are not using this. I have an auctioneer friend who's in the Southeast, and she's like, "Hey Bobby, have you ever heard of a gift card frenzy?" I'm like, yeah, yes. One of the founders of the gift card frenzy. Now, in your silent auction, you're always getting gift cards, right? You're just getting hundreds of dollars of value in gift cards.
And you're just putting them in baskets.
Right? You're putting them in baskets. And then when you put them in the silent auction, you're going to see what 65, 70% of bid to value of what that is. So you're going to have a $100 gift card, and then you're going to get
$60, $70 maybe.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. But what we could do is gather all of those gift cards, and then before the live auction, or even in the middle of the live auction, sometimes even before the paddle raise, you could do this. You're like, here, I've got a $100 gift card to Starbucks. Who wants to donate $100 and get that? I do.
Yeah.
Target, Costco, Amazon, all of these different places. I would really encourage you all to engage your local vendors. Like wherever your organization is, draw a 10-mile circle around it, and then go hit them all up and be like, look, we want to include you in our live fundraising opportunities, and get a gift card from them. There's sometimes we've done this where we call it the Taste of the Town, where we get all the restaurants that are local restaurants that are there, they all donate a gift card, and then we do the Taste of the Town gift card frenzy, and boom. And it's a way that you can get 100% of the gift card in donations for the gift card that has been donated to you. And when you do that, that's all profit. That's raising more, generating more revenue beyond just the auction and the paddle raise and the silent auction and the ticket sales and all of that.
Right.
And it's fun.
Yes.
And it's fun. So what do we got coming up next? All right. Oh, here we are, resources.
Yeah.
So we got about 11 minutes left. I want to make sure that we are very, very cognizant of your time. We respect your time. We thank you so much for coming out and spending an hour with us here today. And just like all great games that are out there, there's a time limit. So we're kind of moving down to this is the last quarter.
This is it.
All right, we got to fill in. So we are going to provide some resources directly to you to help you raise more money, because this is what we do here at Call to Auction. We're always trying to give. We're always trying to help you to be able to raise more money. And again, like I said, we're going to give you the golden ticket to the golden ticket. You're going to get that recipe. But we also got some other resources that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so some of the best, auction items and, how to do that and what to cultivate from. We talked a little bit about that, but also, engaging those board members and stuff like that in order to, pull in those good auction items.
And something else that we love to do with those auction ideas is we've got a giant list. There's probably about 100 of them on there. Is you take that list and then you give it to the board, you give it to the committee, you give it to the staff, and it helps to open their brains up a little bit beyond just the beach vacation or the house in the Hamptons or the bottle of wine or whatever. There's opportunities that are out there to create experiences with maybe professionals, creating experiences to go up in the hot air balloon and the helicopter, go drive the bulldozer. Like, how cool would that be? But having these auction ideas can help to stimulate some brainstorming and some other ideas that are going to come out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden you're going to have them in the auction. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, we sold that for like $10,000. That's great. So we're going to send you the best auction ideas right away. We've got these resources. We also got that additional revenue generator cookbook, I guess you could say, the recipe book for all of those other recipes. And we're going to send that out to you as well, too, because we want to help you raise more money. That's our mission. Absolutely. That is our mission, is to fundraise for your benefit. So we're going to send you some stuff there. So now, questions.
Yeah, we got a couple questions. There are a few questions that came in.
Okay.
So
shoot.
What about consignment items?
Oh, consignment.
I know, it's a whole thing. But,
consignment items.
But yes.
Yeah, so consignment items. So essentially what a consignment item is there's lots of different vendors that are out there, or it could even be donors that provide an experience or provide an item to you at a cost. So let's say we work with some great vendors that have different trips to Tuscany. Yeah. So you could be in a villa, 6 people, 8 people could be in Tuscany. And when you have that, it could be valued at $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. But because these vendors have such a relationship with the different locations, they get it at a much lower cost. So they create a nonprofit or school rate for that. So let's say it's worth $5,000. The cost of the nonprofit is $3,500. Then when we get it in the auction and it sells for $4,000, you keep $500. If it sells for $5,000, you keep $1,500. If it sells for $6,000, you keep $2,500. Now, what's great about these is there's zero risk. There's no money up front that you have to put out there. You work with a trusted vendor, and we work with lots of them. We love our vendors, and we match them up with the right, with our clients with the right vendors, because we know that there's many different ways to do that. And you select, we're going to use the Tuscany trip. You're going to market the Tuscany trip. You're going to sell the Tuscany trip in your live auction, but you're not going to have to pay for it if it doesn't sell. And there's sometimes that they don't sell, but it's mostly from amateur auctioneers is the ones that don't get to sell those. But then, we're professionals. We can make sure those bids go higher. But you know what the best thing about consignment items is?
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this.
What is it?
Multiples.
Selling multiple sales. Now, let's say you get that dinner with the principal. Maybe there's only one. Maybe you get that opportunity to drive the bulldozer. There's only one. We've only got 1 week in the Cayman Islands. There's only one. But what's great with these vendors is you create these multiple sale opportunities. So let's say you have 3, 4, 5 different bidders that want to go on this Tuscany trip. And with a skilled auctioneer, they can be like, get the bids up $2,500, $26, $27, $28, $28, $3,000, $35, $4,000, $5,000. How many people are in at $5,000? And you have 5 people with their hands in the air. Yep. And then now you can say, guess what? Oprah moment, you are all going to go. Sold 5,000, sold 5,000, sold 5,000, sold 5,000, sold 5,000. And again, remember, $3,500 is your cost. Every time you say sold at $5,000, that's $1,500. So now you've made $6,500 in net profit.
Amazing.
And you don't have to touch the item. You don't have to help the winning bidder schedule when they're going to go on their trip. The white glove concierge with all these vendors that we work with, they're the ones that take care of all of that stuff. Yep. So then that takes that off your plate. So then you can do more important things like developing these relationships. You see where we're going there? So yes, consignment items. Again, we're going to do a whole webinar, and we're going to have one of our vendors going to be a part of this, and we're going to talk about trends. We're going to talk about great items. So stay tuned to that. Next question.
Yes, another one. We are having a hard time getting auction items.
Yes.
Kind of covered this a little bit. But
we did. We did. But yes, we have to talk about this a little bit more. Yes, it is hard to get high value, high impact live auction items. But remember, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But what the most important part about this is helping your volunteer leadership to understand that they have a big sphere of influence, and to start to think creatively within that sphere. And again, sometimes they're very narrow-minded. That's where you're going to use the auction ideas to really kind of open those minds up. But then once people start to tap into their networks with the right networking, the right influence, different thing, you could have our friend Patrick Swayze show up at an event, or
you never know.
yeah, you never know.
Yeah, and I mean, people know people, right? You know, and it's really leveraging those connections with the other people in order to get those items and really cultivate the good ideas that can come from that.
Yes.
And
so it's coming from your leadership.
Yeah.
It's coming from those connections is really what it is. What else?
One more question here. Ooh, this is a good one. We've never done a paddle raise. What do we do?
You've never done a paddle raise. And I can't believe, here we are, 2024, almost 2025, and there's still organizations that are hosting galas and they're not doing a paddle raise. I don't understand. I don't get it. But it's great that they're able to come to us and then say, we've never had a paddle raise. Actually, you're working with a client here in Phoenix that has never done a paddle raise before.
So
and we're helping them to design this, helping them to produce it, helping them to implement it, and to find donations in that room that they've never found before.
You know, and I had two last year that had never done a paddle raise, and they were just blown away, shocked by the results. It's like, this is, I mean, it's free money in the room that you're just kind of leaving there if you don't, have that paddle raise. Yeah, you gotta ask.
If you don't ask, you don't get. It's very, very simple. And when you ask, what's the worst thing you could say?
No.
You're ugly. I mean, no, yes, no is the other one. But there's some elements that you do need for the paddle raise. Definitely you need a paddle. Everybody has to have a paddle. And yes, you can give on the phones. There's lots of different technology solutions that are out there, but very simple. You need a paddle. That paddle needs to be attached to the name of the donor so then you can follow up afterwards and get the money in the bank account. Most important. So you need the paddle. You need the asker. Who's going to be your asker? Who is comfortable public speaking and asking for money? Those are like the two least favorite things of everybody in the world. And there's some individuals out there that are really good at it. But finding that asker, that's someone that understands your mission, that someone speaks your language, that uses the vocabulary that you have, and understands what your impact is in the world. And then also, again, that can effectively make that ask, not put anybody on the spot, not make anybody feel guilty, not it's not making people feel icky.
No. And you can't, people are there to gather for fun and to have a good time, and you don't want that moment to go downhill.
Right. Yeah. I call it the record scratch. You don't ever want to have the record scratch happen. So you have to make sure that your asker is experienced, they know about your mission, and they know how to keep that momentum going. And I would say work with someone that has done this before. So you have to have the paddles, you have to have the asker, you also have the storytelling, whether it's an in-person testimonial, whether it's a video, whether it's a combination of those. You have to, again, have that story that's there, that really ties the fundraising to the impact, and then the glue that sticks that together is the donor. So you definitely have to have the story. So paddle, asker, story, and get all the money. Get all the money. Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably the end of the questions. We're like 2 minutes.
Oh my!
2 minutes.
If you have any more questions, please, put them in the chats. Email us. We are happy to answer any questions. And that's again what we're here for. We want to help as many organizations that are out there in the world, because you and I can only do 50, 75 auctions each per year, and that's only 150. But then you do the math. There's 1.5 million nonprofits that are out there. So if we can help you with some of this information, help you raise money, then we've done our job.
Absolutely.
That's right. And if you need an auctioneer in your market, reach out to us too. We have a giant network.
Oh, yeah.
Some of our best friends are auctioneers.
Oh, man. Awesome auctioneers.
Yeah, you should see us when we all get together. It's pretty crazy. But I think the most important thing, okay, here we are. This is the 2-minute warning. All right, we got less than 2 minutes to do this. The most important thing about building a gold medal gala is at the end of your gala, you need to say thank you. You have to say thank you. If you're not saying thank you in an authentic, but also a rapid timeline, your donors are going to be like, I gave them all this money and
what happened?
What happened? Right. So you have to say thank you. The most effective way that you can say thank you is have your leadership call the donor the next day. And there's studies that have actually been found that if a board member or leadership calls the donor after the day that they made a gift, the rate of them giving a second gift goes way up. And then that second gift increasing goes up even further. Simple phone call, text, email. But making sure that you're building your gratitude process after the event to really, again, showcase that impact that there happened. And when you say thank you, you win. When you say thank you, you get the gold. And when you say thank you, you're able to truly make that impact. And that's what it's all about. And friends, go for gold.
And thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Again, my name is Bobby D. and
Dusty Klink.
And we're with Call to Auction, fundraising for your benefit, because auction is action with you in it. Please, any questions, anything you need, please reach out to us. We're going to be doing more of these webinars. We're going to be doing more in-person seminars. And the way that you can find out more for this is you got to sign up for our newsletter. If you're getting the emails, the invite to this, you're already on there. But please share this with your friends. Share this with your colleagues, people that are in organizations that want to raise more money. And we can help you all do that. And that's what we're here for. That's my passion. That's my purpose in life, to be able to help you raise that money. So
thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Have an amazing day. And if you are in Phoenix, stay out of the heat.
You win, you win, you win. All right, here we go. Big high five.
Right.
All right, thank you again for being a part of our Create a Gold Medal Gala. We hope you got some information. And again, please stay tuned. We've got some more fun, and we've got some more themes that we're going to be coming up with. I mean,
I don't know what next one's going to be like.
He is a country auctioneer, so we have the cowboy hats on. All right, thanks again, everybody. Go out, go get the gold, go win, and go out and change the world.
Absolutely.
That's it. All right, bye, everyone.
Thank you.